What's in here? Like little babies?
Yeah, dude, it's so strange.
It's even weirder than the last time we were here. And last time it was pretty freaking weird, so. Hi, we are Kelly and Kevin. If you're just joining us, we are in Joshua Tree, California, staying in an awesome vintage Airstream Airbnb.
Let's make some coffee.
Ladies, get you a man who cooks you breakfast. I think he's making avocado toast this morning, which sounds amazing.
So we made a nice little breakfast, but there are some difficulties cooking in an Airstream. Kept hitting my head quite a bit, so a little bit of an adjustment, but I think breakfast turned out okay.
So today we're taking another kind of little mini road trip about an hour and 45 minutes away from here. It's called the Salton Sea, which is this crazy California mistake that is kind of gross and kind of abandoned and kind of interesting. So we're really excited to explore there.
Also around the Salton Sea, you'll find Salvation Mountain and East Jesus and all sorts of other art installations that people have put up over the years. Definitely stuff that you've seen on Instagram before. So we're gonna go check out those as well.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. We found a cool desert mural, so we're gonna take some Instagram photos. After a little bit of driving, we finally made it to the Salton Sea. Now, this place is really interesting. It has a really crazy history. In the early 1900s, the government wanted to bring water to the desert cities out here. So they tried to divert some of it from the Colorado River, and it didn't really work out as they had intended. They ended up having a huge flood, and the entire river ended up being diverted into this valley, which is below sea level, creating the Salton Sea. California decided to take advantage of that and make it a destination. In the 50s, this place was booming. There were resorts. The problem with this huge lake is that it doesn't have an outlet. So anything that runs into it doesn't have any place to go.
Due to agricultural runoff and algae blooms, over the years it just became this really toxic environment and a lot of the fish started to die.
The water just sat in the heat and it kind of started to stink.
Yeah, went down pretty quickly, and in the 70s people really started moving away. Today it's really just a pretty barren lake. There really isn't much going on anymore, but it does draw a lot of people to go and check out the old abandoned buildings and things like that along the coastline, which is why we are here today.
It's still a state recreation area, so you can come here and put your boat in the water, and I think people still fish a little bit. As soon as we show you what we're about to see a little further south from here, you'll wonder why they do that, because it's actually really gross.
Yeah, they say that you can swim in the water too, but I wouldn't get in this water.
We're pretty far from the actual shore right now, but once you get closer, you can smell it even to this day.
Yeah, and driving up, there was a couple of sections of the road that we were still a couple of miles away, and you could start to smell the sea. So,
but they still maintain this visitor center, and they seem to be very hopeful with the amount of visitors that they want to get, because they have this huge parking lot that could fit 100 cars, but we're the only ones here.
It is closed due to COVID-19, so that might be part of it, but I have a pretty strong feeling that not many people come here even when it is fully operational. Nobody here. But we're gonna continue the drive and just see what kind of crazy little towns that we can find along the way. So let's go.
driving around the town of Bombay Beach, which the population is 295 people, but it doesn't seem like anybody lives here. It is pretty dead. It used to be a thriving lakeside community, but as you can imagine, as the tourism dollars dried up, a lot of people moved out, and it kind of left the town in ruins, and a lot of urban explorers or abandoned explorers like to come here to take photos of some of the abandoned places and the ruins left. But also lately it's kind of evolved into almost an artist colony, so I think people are starting to transform some of the outdoor spaces into outdoor free art galleries, as you can see by some of the trailers and things we're driving by now. Today, the shoreline at Bombay Beach is a lot lower than it once was. You can see the remnants of old marinas that were abandoned decades ago and have since dried up. Looks like there used to be a marina here. There's a boat launch ramp over there, but it has long since dried up. So we've come across an area that looks like it's been taken over by artists. And by artists, I mean people that have just come and like taken the ruins of everything and created these weird things. It's kind of like Burning Man. That's what it reminds me of, even though I've never actually been to Burning Man. So there's a couple cool spots. We're gonna go take some Instagram photos and hopefully not die because it's so freaking hot. And it's starting to, I can smell it a little bit. It doesn't smell the best. Came across one of these little art installations. It's like this pink chair and this TV that says it was all a dream. We were here a few years ago and it was not an artist's destination back then, but I guess it is now. To that swing.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
No.
It does not look great.
We've been sitting in the car for a while to cool off because I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's hot AF out here. We're trying not to get heat stroke. But we've come across this kind of city block here in Bombay Beach where all of the buildings are abandoned and all of them have been turned into like a weird art installation with lots of graffiti, but it's not really graffiti, so we'll show you.
So I went and explored this before. I was just gonna take some pictures and then come back, but I thought it was too cool, so I had to grab Kelly and tell her to come check it out.
If you come to Bombay Beach, wear closed-toed shoes. There's lots of metal pieces and broken glass and wood and all kinds of stuff, so wear shoes so you don't cut your feet up.
I read online that they did this like kind of mini Burning Man kind of art weekend, and they do it once a year, so I think this might have something to do with that. But over in here it gets kind of crazy, so check it out.
Is that Chris Farley?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like this right here has the power run to it. There's a giant light in the middle. So all I can imagine is that light just lights up the whole area and then uses all of these, like, I think these are all lights too. See this?
Yeah.
These are all like lights. So,
Huh.
all these that, and like, there's all these quotes kind of along the walls and everything here.
Whoa. The heck? What's in here? Like little babies?
Yeah, dude, it's so strange. Everything is just really odd.
It's even weirder than the last time we were here. And last time it was pretty freaking weird, so. Weirder and weirder with every structure we go in. This is definitely Kevin's jam. He loves shit like this. He's into the abandoned, decaying, kind of derelict stuff. Even he thinks this is weird.
I think that's gonna do it for Bombay Beach. We're gonna continue to head around the Salton Sea and hopefully make our way to Salvation Mountain.
Okay, just about 20 minutes away from Salton Sea is Salvation Mountain, which I am absolutely sure you have seen on Instagram before. It is described as a visionary environment. It's actually kind of a piece of folk art. This guy, Leonard Knight, it was his life's work. He came here and he just started painting Bible verses, crosses, and all kinds of Christian things that he just put on the side of this mountain. He has since passed away, but a charity was developed for the upkeep of the mountain, so it still remains a top place to visit in this area today. We're gonna take some Instagram photos and explore. So the art is made of straw, adobe, and lead-free paint, and it's kept up by a foundation that was formed after Leonard Knight's death. And it's free to come see. It's by donation only, free parking and everything. It's out in the middle of the desert, so you can just come and see this guy's life work. And it's pretty beautiful in its own way. It's interesting. It's definitely a quirky roadside thing to see, but it's cool. It's really cool. Just down the road from Salvation Mountain is the unincorporated community of Slab City. It is, I really don't know how to explain it. It's not a town, but people come here and live off the grid. They bring their RVs.
Yeah, it's like a squatter's paradise. People have been living at for years, and they kind of just let people do whatever they want. So there's lots of RVs, but people kind of build off of them or build little shanties and just have lived out here in the middle of the desert in this community for the longest time.
We don't mean for squatters to sound bad. It's actually become quite a large community of people with impermanent houses or residences that they've permanently set up here, pretty much. If you've ever seen the movie Into the Wild, the main character comes here for a while. It's another artsy, funky, quirky, I don't even really know how to, you really just have to see it.
It's like kind of a lot of hippies hanging out and a lot of people who live off the grid in RVs. It's definitely a little weird, but everyone that you see will wave to you, and it's not like a bad place to visit at all.
No, it's just a lot of people who don't want to live under the local government's thumb, basically.
Yeah.
They've built their own churches. I say built, they're not really buildings. They've kind of erected their own churches. They have a library, they have a hostel, and they have just their own way of living. It's definitely, it's off the grid energy-wise, but it's also off the grid like government-wise. They kind of govern themselves out here.
There's this one section of it that's called East Jesus, which is really where a lot of art is incorporated, and that's kind of where we've been driving around just now.
It is something else, I'll tell you.
Yep. Crazy Salton Sea. Tell you
Yeah,
what.
if you really want to live away from everybody, come out to the southeastern California desert.
Yeah.
Seems to be what everybody does. We've decided to get out of the car and explore the museum here. There's this huge lot where people just make art out of trash. And that is a direct quote from the volunteer we saw at the entrance there. It's pretty interesting. There's all kinds of stuff. It's like whatever you could possibly imagine, and probably a lot of things you can't imagine. That's creepy. What do you think of this place?
Funky, weird. Kind of dig it though.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
All right, at least they got the priorities straight. He also told us that this is the only registered art museum in Imperial County in California, which I thought was pretty interesting. After a ton of driving, we finally made it back to our Airbnb. It looks so inviting. I'm so tired. We were out all day exploring and we got so dirty and so sweaty. I can't wait for a shower. And we picked up a pizza. So we're just gonna eat it here and have a couple drinks and do a little work and then go to bed. I'm excited because I'm so tired.
Okay, we're about to get into some of this pizza, and that's gonna be it for us for tonight. Tomorrow we are checking out this really cool Airbnb, and we're gonna go and head into Joshua Tree, and then we're gonna do a little exploring in Palm Springs, so make sure you check out that video. And subscribe if you have not already. Drop a comment, let us know what you thought about this video and if you want to see anything else. And thanks so much for watching.
This is Awkward Tourist. Peace out. How did it become salt? It's salt, right?
Step over first before you start filming yourself.
I don't know. I'm gonna get murdered in here. This is f***ing creepy.